Right, so I jerry-rigged this plug. So I had this dryer cable, which is a 1030 P, which stands for plug, 1030P. That plugs into that 1030R receptacle from our wall, so that's a 30 amp. And then I took the 3 cables that come off it, and as you can see, I heat shrink tubed each lead or wire to the prongs. And then what I did was I created a ground. So this this is a 1040p this thing, which gives me two 1040R, so I can connect more plugs to it because I need to plug in the dryer and the car charger. The green one for the ground, so I had to use yellow because I didn't have all the right colors of the heat shrink tubing, so I ran a green one. Let me show you how this works. This thing has, oh, it's hard to do this with one hand. Hopefully it won't drop it. There we go. So this thing has 2 plugs, so 2 1040Rs. I use a 1040, so this is a 1040p, or sorry, 15, is it 1540p, right, to the 15 or 1030R. So if I unplug this, this is the regular dryer one. I'll just unplug it a little so you can kind of see. So it uses that. The L bracket is for the neutral, and then you got the Y and the X for those diagonal ones. Okay, and then the other side has an actual 1540p extension cable. The ground, what I did was I ran this ground. So I have this special cable here. This is a extension cable for my other charger, where if you watch my other videos, I plug 2 of these, which are the 515, I believe, which is the standard household plugs. But this extension cable is kind of cool because every few feet or so it has like these plugs. So I have another one over there that I can plug random stuff to if I want, and it stays at the 120 volt. And I made this into a ground plug. So basically this cable is only connected to the ground. There's nothing on the 2 prongs that are on top, and that's how I'm grounding the 1450R. But again, I'm using this as a 30 amp, so I only can charge max 24 amps. I can only charge max 24 amps at a time. Okay, and then the dryer one here, I might have to change this because the people that wired this, I think they wired it specifically for car charging or something, I don't know. But the neutral, the plug that's supposed to be a neutral here, they wired this to the ground of the 1450R. So technically this is going to ground, which it shouldn't be. So I don't know if the dryer works completely right because it's not supposed to go to ground. It's not going to do anything if it goes to ground. So yeah, so I don't know. They wired it like that, I believe, for charging cars or something. Or RV stuff. But anyways, I have this long, there's a 30-foot extension, and that goes to the car charger that I have outside. I made a video of that already, so if you want to see that, just let me know. This also has a special thing where one takes priority over the other. So the one that's normally on the left here is supposed to take priority, and then if this is going, then the car charger shouldn't start. But because this thing is rated for 50 amps, which lets you charge, which is supposed to go, this actually goes up to 40 amps or something. So the problem with that is the dryer doesn't use that much power, and the car charger, because I'm on a 30 amp line, will never, these two combined will never go over 40 amps. So I have to be careful and make sure. So the reason I put it this way is so you can actually see this light on the wall. So especially when the light's off, then you can see this light. And if this light is green, then I shouldn't run the dryer. And if it's white, then it's okay to run the dryer. So that's why I designed it this way. And it works pretty well so far. So I just told everyone in the house, if you see this light's green, don't run the dryer. And that's pretty much it for how I did this setup, so I can charge the car using a standard 1030, using the 1030R receptacle. Okay, and this works again pretty well. You do need several adapters. This one box here is pretty expensive. They do have much cheaper options because this box, the reason I bought this box is so in the future, if I get a house with a 1450R, I won't have to worry about buying new equipment or worrying about a car charging port. So this might end up being a waste of money if the new house comes with a specific car charger port and a specific one for a dryer. But I just got it in case for future use. If anything, I could always sell it. I think this thing was like it was like 500 something with a $100 discount afterwards. So yeah, this ended up costing like 500 or something. So it's pretty expensive. This cable was also expensive. The 30-foot extension of this thick wiring, that's pretty expensive. I forgot how much. I think it was like 120 or something before tax. And then these adapters I think are like 25 to 35. There was one that was really cheap that was like $15, but I ended up not using that. That was a 1560, or I don't remember. It's the one that's made, or I think a 550 P, which is designed for like welding. All right, and then the long cable that I shrink tubed on, that actually when we bought our dryer, my brother didn't know and he bought this cable with it. I think it was like 20 bucks. But I ended up pulling the old one off of our old dryer that we were throwing away, and I just used that for this because it's basically the same cable. And it's kind of nice because this one's actually pretty long. So anyways, that's my setup. Hopefully this helps some people that want to do this kind of thing. Again, you don't have to get this box. There are several other options. There's a 1450 P that has you can plug a 1450p to the back of this, and then coming out of the bottom also has a what is it, 1030R, so the kind for the dryer, for the older dryers. All right, so that was another option, and that plug was like 100 bucks if I bought that. So that could have been another way I could have gotten around this, where I could have just made this, so I could have made this wire go directly to that plug, and then I could have plugged this cable directly to the back of that, and then the dryer would go to the other end. So that would have been a nice cheap option that I could do. But again, I wanted this for future proofing if I wanted to do this in the future. And yeah, but maybe I should not do that and maybe I should return this. I don't know. I'm trying to think what I should do, but probably I should return this and do the cheaper option because I don't really need the super expensive option. The only thing with that is then people will have to ask me if my car is charging before running the dryer. So maybe for safety reasons, I'll just keep using this because, yeah, it's worth it for the safety factor and not burning the house down. It'll be fine. It would be fine if I was living alone or if I was the only one running the dryer. So I'd basically have to tell everyone, tell me you want me to dry the clothes. But that's too much hassle. So it's easier to just tell them if this green light is on, not to run the dryer. So I think it's worth spending the extra $400 something to make sure the house doesn't burn down. But you have your choices. That's one of the options. Of course, there are other options as well. I saw one cable that splits, I think the 1030, it splits it to a 1450 and a 1030. So that's another option, and those cables were also pretty cheap. And then it has a ground cable that you can run that to somewhere. But yeah, this is what I chose to do. Hopefully this helps. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.